Hello and welcome to episode 54 of the Made by Mumino podcast. My name is Catherine and I'm filming as usual in Mönchengladbach in Germany, where I live permanently with my partner, although I'm originally from Wales in the UK. So yes, a really warm welcome to you if you're new here, and a huge welcome back if you've been here before. This is mostly a knitting podcast where I talk about any projects I'm working on, any test knits, that kind of thing. Although I haven't done any test knits in ages. I made a resolution this year not to sign up for any more test knits unless it was something like really, really special. And so far, although it's only March, I have managed to stick to it. So anyway, today we've got loads of stuff to talk about. This episode is a week late. I came back from a holiday a couple of weeks ago and picked up an absolutely stinking cold when I was coming back. So yeah, I wasn't well enough to film last week, unfortunately. But yes, today there'll be lots of footage of yarn shops in Iceland, which is where I went on my holiday, and some irresponsible purchases. Also the winner of the giftaway from the last episode, because it was my 2-year podiversary. So I decided to do a little giveaway. So that'll be a little bit later on. I've got a few finished objects to show you, and some knitting plans and a couple of one new cast on. So today is a coffee kind of day, but I just wanted to show you my mug. How cute is that? I think I got this at what's it called? Wonderwall last year before, with my mum. So really cute little mug. But yeah, today is definitely a coffee day. So let's get started. I should have mentioned that I put chapters in, so if there's a bit that you're not interested in, feel free to skip over. I also link everything that I talk about down in the show notes. But if I've missed something or you have any questions, feel free to message me or to comment down below. Also, you can find me on social media as Mumino or Made by Mumino, but again, all of those links are down below. Okay, let's start with what I'm wearing today. This is the Moonflowers pullover from Knitting for Breakfast, and I did this as a test knit for them. I think it was about this time last year. And it's just a really bright and cheerful all-over colourwork sweater with 3/4 length sleeves. It's got a round yoke construction, and I've used the recommended 5 colours, but I think you could probably even get away with 3, definitely 4, if you didn't want to have such a complicated pattern design or colour combination. So I've gone with kind of really bright and cheerful colours. These are from Wool Dreamers in Spain. And the type of yarn is called Cautiva, I think is how you say it, and it's a DK yarn. It's a really interesting yarn to work with. When it's knit up, it kind of almost acts like an unspun. It's got a really short staple length, and it's very, very light for a DK. It's not a tightly spun yarn. And it was really nice to work with. I've got so much left over because I really overbought for the pattern. I initially signed up to do the 5th size in a slightly different combination of colours, but then when I started doing my gauge swatch, I wasn't really happy with the gauge that I was getting. It was coming out as much too big, so I ended up knitting the 4th size, but ended up with the measurements of the 5th size, if that makes sense. I also switched up the colour combination a little bit. I was intending to use, I can't remember which one it was, but I was intending to use one of the other colours as the main colour, hence why I ended up with quite a lot of yarn left over. But yeah, anyway, if I haven't already done so, I'll put a picture up of me wearing it. I used the recommended needle size of 4mm, which is a US 6. The pattern comes in 10 different sizes, which is I think it was 68.5 inches bust circumference, or I think it was about 174 centimetre bust circumference. So it's got a really good size range. It's just a really nice, easy pattern to wear this time of year. It's quite light, and I'm happy with the ease that I ended up with. But yeah, nothing else to say about this really, other than that it was a really fun knit. All over colour work, I think, can be a bit daunting, but once you get in the zone, it's very satisfying, especially when you keep changing colours and things. So it's a really fun knit, so I can highly recommend it. The first finished object I've got to show you today is a cowl. This is the Copenhagen Calling cowl from Isabel Kramer. It's one of her older patterns, I think from 2019. I haven't woven in my ends yet. So I made a couple of adaptations to this pattern. So it was originally for a DK yarn, knit on 4.5mm needles, I think. But I'm knitting it with a sort of a heavy fingering light sport weight sort of weight yarn. So I went down to a 3.75mm needle, which is US 5, just to get the sort of a nice gauge that I liked. But because of that, it actually reduces the circumference quite a lot of the finished. It was going to reduce the circumference quite a lot. So I added on, I think, 2 repeats of the pattern. As long as you do it in multiples of 8, it's absolutely fine. But it worked out really nicely because this is for my partner. And if I put a picture up here of what the original sample from Isabel Kramer looks like, you'll see that it's a very, very drapey scarf. And he wanted something that was a little bit closer to the neck so that he could wear it under a coat. And yeah, it's turned out really nicely. So the yarn that I'm using here is a base from WIP Yarn Company called Merknen. Here are the 2 colours. So I've got quite a lot left from 2 100-gram skeins, so that can go into something else. Sadly, probably, I don't know, it might be strong enough for sock yarn. But the mix of it is 40% BFL, 40% Shetland and 20% alpaca, and it's 350 metres per 100 grams. The green colour is called Lagoon and the purple colour is called Nebula. Yeah, I love this. It's really, really nice. I do have a slight intolerance to alpaca. It seems to be just when it's worn on my head, but maybe this would be nice, a bit of colour work or something. But anyway, yes, so the reason why I haven't weaved in the ends yet is because I was knitting this and I was getting towards the end of the lace and thinking, oh gosh, I've got another 7 centimetres of ribbing to do before this finishes. And then the next instruction on the pattern was to do a few rows of garter stitch and it was done. So I was a little bit worried it would roll or something like that, so maybe I would need to go down a needle size to stop it from rolling. But touch wood, it seems to be okay, so I think I'll probably leave it as it is and weave the ends in. So the construction, you cast on a lot of stitches. For the bottom edge, do some ribbing, do a few stripes, then it's mosaic stitch, this little slip stitch pattern, a few more little mini stripes, and then this lovely lace repeat, before doing a bit of garter stitch at the top. To be honest, I'd be very, very tempted just to continue that mosaic stitch all the way up. It's very, very pretty. So yeah, there's nothing else really to say about this other than my partner has ended up with a beautiful, highly gorgeous, very, very beautifully coloured cowl that he'll enjoy wearing. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. I'll show it to you inside out as well, just so you can see. And you can see there as well where I've, where is it? There it is. Where I've carried the colours up on the inside, the little line there. So yeah, it's a really pretty, very, very drapey, gorgeous cowl that I'm sure he'll enjoy wearing. So I love it that he always picks these beautiful, beautiful jewel colours. If you have a look on my Instagram, you'll see that I've pictured it with the hat he intends to wear with it, which is this amazing bright pink also from the WIP Yarn Company. And that colour is picked up nicely in here as well. So they should go together really, really nicely. So yeah, really fun knit that I took to Iceland with me. Although I didn't do very much knitting there. We were very busy and I didn't do much car knitting because I was mostly, honestly, slightly terrified while we were driving. So yeah, did most of this last week when I was convalescing with a horrible cold. So yes, Copenhagen Calling from Isabel Kramer, lovely pattern. The next thing to show you is another finished object, but this has been worn a lot. It's already started bobbling. He took, this is another jumper for my partner. He took several jumpers with him to Iceland and he ended up wearing this pretty much for the whole time we were there. So this is the single Malt from Maxim Sear. I knit this to pattern. You can see it's already starting to bobble a little bit under there. Anyway, yes, I knit this to pattern. This is the 3rd size. It's for a DK weight yarn. I used West Yorkshire Spinners, the Croft, in the colourway, I think it's Laxfirth, I think it's called, yeah. And I use the recommended 5mm needles, which is a US 8. So yeah, he wore this for a week. It's a lovely warm jumper with this gorgeous all over texture. So when he was wearing it, I noticed that he really needs the sleeves a few centimetres longer. So at some point I might even do it this week sometime, I'm going to rip back the cuff back to the textured bit, add on a few centimetres and then reknit the cuff. Also, I feel like the cuff is quite long, so I might make that ribbing section a little bit shorter. Yeah, so anyway, I've got to do that at some point. But I'll put up a picture of him wearing it here. But he loved it. It was a really, really satisfying knit because I finished it, he immediately wanted to wear it, and he wore it for a week. So that's a sign of a good knit. It was a successful project, so I'm happy with that. The all over texture, it's really easy to memorise. It's a 4-row repeat and it's just a really nice pattern. It comes in a good range of sizes as well. And I think I probably would make another one. I think if you got bored of doing this all over texture, you could finish this raglan and then put in maybe a pearl bump row or something and then just continue in stockinette if you didn't want to do it all. I think Isabel Kramer has a really similar pattern to that. I think it might be called the Jaden. So if you didn't want to do this all over texture. But to be honest, this is a really, really nice knit. And it wasn't too slow, even though I think I cast this on last year before Christmas. I just had other projects that I wanted to finish. So it took me a while to get it going. But yeah, he's happy. Yes, it smells of his his aftershave, which is really nice. Anyway, so yes, this is the single malt sweater from Maxim Sear, and it's just a really nice knit and definitely very wearable as seen in Iceland. Okay, the next thing to show you is a WIP, another cast on, and for this I am using some gorgeous yarns. So this is West Yorkshire Spinners Solstice in the colourway Nectar, and it's a 4-ply yarn, and the makeup of it is 70% Falkland, 20% lyocell and 10% cashmere. So it's a luxury yarn with a good price point. I think it's listed on the West Yorkshire Spinners website as £12.95 per 100 grams, so not bad. So I bought this, I think it was in the Croft in Abergavenny, the Wool Croft, sorry, in Abergavenny last summer, and I got a few, the colour just really appealed to me. So I got a few skeins of this, I think 4 skeins altogether. And then when I was at the Unravel Festival last summer, I picked up some skeins of this beautiful Surrey alpaca. It's gorgeous variegated yarn, which is 65% baby Surrey, 35% silk, and it's 400 meters, excuse me, per 50 grams. And I didn't buy them to work together, but they just kind of spoke to me that they should be held together. And yeah, the skein that I'm using at the moment is slightly darker than this one, slightly more green, but held together it looks like this. I'm making a love note. You can't really see, can you really see the different colours and things in there? A little bit. So yeah, I've been meaning to cast on a love note for ages. I fancied making a sort of a spring sweater, and I thought this would be a perfect yarn to do it with. It is incredibly soft. This is a very bougie sweater. So whilst this is a pretty good price point for a sweater, this not so much, but it's a very special Surrey mohair. It always immediately pushes the price up, doesn't it, as soon as you hold those 2 yarns together. But yeah, you can get away with it by using a sport weight or a DK instead of holding the 2 yarns together if that's what the pattern calls for. But anyway, the love note calls for a 4-ply held with a mohair. So yeah, you could definitely get away with a sport weight or a blown DK or something for this. But I'm using the recommended needle size, which is a 6mm or a US 10. And I'm messing about with the size a little bit for this. So for my bust circumference, I would think I would want to do the 4th size, but I wanted a really open neckline. So I've cast on for the 5th size instead, but then I'm following the row instructions for the 4th size. so I'll end up with slightly more stitches around, but I've compensated for that by doing fewer raglan repeats after the lace section. So it might work, it might not, I don't know. Anyway, the pattern says to do a provisional cast on. I've cheated and I am using a try-on cord. So I do this by, it's not as smooth as doing a proper provisional cast on, but when you are, where's my end? I really should put some needle stoppers on here. So when you're casting on, I get the end of a try-on cord and I put it on the end of the needle, if I can do it, and then put it down next to it like that, and then I cast on over both, so that when you then come to the end of your cast on, you take it off and then knit as normal. So what you're left with is the try-on cord sitting inside that first row of stitches, so that they're nice and easy to pick up again. You will end up with more of a seam than if you do a proper provisional cast on using a crochet chain, but as we've previously discussed, I can't crochet to save my life. so this is a good cheap method. I find it works quite well for cowls and things as well. When you're doing that sort of infinity cowl where you end up having to graft the two ends, I usually use this method as well. Anyway, so I cast on the 5th size, it's top down, and then you pick up the stitches afterwards for the collar. So yeah, you do a little bit of knitting, and then there's this lovely lace which will open up when it's blocked, a little bit of a raglan section, and then straight into the body. So I think this should be quite a quick knit, and I can't wait to wear it. It is so soft. Definitely a very bougie sweater, but why not? Yeah, so I hope this works out maths wise, but we shall see. But I think it's going to look really, really cute. I've got this denim pinafore. I think I was wearing it in the last episode. Yeah, I think it'll look really, really cute underneath that. So yes, that's my cast on at the moment. And I do have some other knitting plans as well, which I'll talk about in a moment. Okay, knitting plans. So firstly, when I was going through my stash yesterday, because I had to have a bit of a tidy up. Oh yeah, after the last episode, a couple of people asked if I could do a tour of my stash. It's kind of difficult to do, if I'm honest. So I live in a really small flat with my partner. It's, what is it? It's about just under 60 square meters. And we've got a lot of stuff in here. So my stash is dotted around all over the place. I use big zipped storage boxes from IKEA, and inside those are multiple freezer bags, and you know the bags when you buy a handbag, they give you that sort of cloth bag. I use those for yarn storage as well. So my yarn stash is kind of dotted around all over the place. I'll have a think about how to do it, because I would like to de-stash some bits and pieces. So yeah, I'll have a think, and I'll see if I can do it in a future episode, maybe with a de-stash as well. Anyway, when I was going through my stash looking for something else, I remembered I had this. I found this. This is a beautiful skein of sock yarn that I got from Spin Godin last year, I think, at Breda. And I picked up this little mini to go with it as well. It's just an ordinary sock base, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And I just thought I'd like to make some socks out of that. They're very cute. They look like a rose garden, which is actually what I think. The colourway is called rose garden. So I think I would like to cast on some cute spring socks. I've had some socks on my needles for ages. The yarn is from Garthenor. And normally I knit on socks when I'm being a passenger princess or on public transport or whatever, and I just haven't been doing that recently. So those socks are lasting an absolutely ridiculous amount of time. But finding this yarn is inspiring me to get on with it and finish those socks so that I can cast on some pretty spring ones. The other thing that I would like to do, I have 2 cones of this gorgeous green colour from Woolly Knit. This yarn is a brilliant price point. It's not the softest yarn in the world, however it knits up beautifully. It wears extremely well, it doesn't bobble very much, and as I said, it's not a bad price for how much yarn you're getting. So this colourway is called Dark Apple, and it's 500 grams of it's supposed to be 4-ply, but I think it's a bit thinner than a 4-ply. But with this yarn, I don't normally recommend swatching because I'm lazy. But with this one, I really do recommend swatching because it looks like it's very thin. Then when you knit it up and block it, it really does bloom quite a lot. A lot of the spinning oil comes out of it. So sometimes you can end up with a much stiffer fabric than you intended. But anyway, I'm planning on holding these together and making a big, long, voluminous cardigan with them. I'm thinking the Riggies cardigan from Gudrun Johnson, put up a picture here, and which is what I originally intended to make with these cones. In the sort of spring here in the Northern Hemisphere, I find that a big, long cardigan is perfect instead of a jacket this time of year. So yeah, knitting plans. When I finish the Love Note, I think that might be the next thing that I cast on, and it'll be quite a long project, I think. But the Riggies is all in garter stitch, so I think it should be quite a nice one to work on. So yes, knitting plans, socks, and a lovely big chunky cardigan. So yeah, we'll see what happens by the next episode. We're on to irresponsible purchases. As I might have mentioned once or twice, I've just come back from Iceland, and yes, I did buy some yarn. I bought quite a lot of yarn, if I'm honest. I think I bought several kilograms of yarn. But anyway, there'll be some tours of the shops that I visited at the end of this episode. And the first one that I went to was the Hand Knitting Association of Iceland. It's really cool. So most of the shops that you go into, particularly sort of in the more touristy areas, have got sweaters in them. If you go to the Hand Knitters Association of Iceland, they've all been knitted by people who are in Iceland. And yeah, well, not all of them, I think most of them. So you can get a proper hand knit sweater if you want, which is fantastic. So it surprised me actually. Lots of places sell yarn, but the main emphasis seems to be on actually ready knit sweaters, presumably because the majority of people who go there don't want to knit their own sweater. So yeah, I went to the Hand Knitters Association of Iceland. It's right in the centre of the downtown of Reykjavik, so it's really, really easy to get to even if you're just going there for the weekend. And they had a fantastic selection of ready knit sweaters and other accessories and things, but also at the back of the shop there was a small area for actual yarn, and the people who were working there were incredibly helpful, really, really nice, and I might have, anyway, I'll show you what I got. So this is to knit a sweater for my partner, and this is xxxx Plutelopi, and I'm intending to hold this double, and these are the contrast colours that I've got to go with it, and I'm going to make him a traditional Icelandic sweater. So yeah, I haven't quite settled on the pattern yet. There are a few free patterns available, and there are plenty online, so paid for patterns online as well. They were so helpful. So when this is spun up, all of these plates are connected until they're broken apart. So the person who was helping me, she looked through all of the plates until she found some that were connected for me, so that they were all definitely the same dye lot. And it's this beautiful, really, really deep blue colour. Yeah, so I've got this to go with it. And yeah, I don't know when I'm going to get to this, if I'm honest. It's a lot of yarn. But you know, I think we're fully intending on going back to Iceland. As soon as we got back, we were looking again for flights and alternative ways of getting there again in the summer. We were a little bit unlucky with the weather. There was a lot of snow for this time of year, and really high winds and hailstorms, thunderstorms, all sorts of things. So we were a little bit unlucky, so we didn't get to go and see all of the sort of sites and things that we intended to, which is absolutely fine. It just gives us a reason to go back again, right? So yeah, not sure when I'm going to get to this, but my partner picked these colours. He loves them, so yeah, I think I'll probably try and make him a traditional yoke sweater with these, but we shall see. The next place that I went to was, we were driving along one of the main roads down to a town called Vik, and I saw, all the details of these shops are down below, and I saw this shop as we were driving past, and they also sold all the xxxx range as well, as you'll see in the tour. But interestingly, they also sold some hand-dyed Plutolopi as well. And I'm going to add this into here as a fourth colour, which is going to be perfect for my partner. He, as you know, loves these beautiful bright colours, and I think to do a traditional yoke sweater with this beautiful pop of pink in it is going to look incredible. So yeah, these will all be held double to make a beautiful big sweater at some point. One thing I missed actually, in the first shop that we went to, I also got some spun yarn, and this is grown and spun in Iceland. Pure Icelandic virgin wool from the Arctic north of Iceland, undyed and spun at Gilhugger family farm. And this is lovely. It's really nice. This will make a beautiful cowl or something. The weight of this is 200 meters per 100 grams, and I got 2 skeins of it. This is lovely. I kind of wish I bought more of this because this would make a beautiful rustic sweater. Really nice. So that was that. And also, I should have mentioned it earlier, I got another prize for the Mal. So this is the third and final Cable Mal prize. If you want to enter, you can do it on Instagram with the hashtag MBMCableMal26. I'll write it down here. Or you can enter in the Ravelry group, or you can enter via email. Oh, if you've emailed me your entry, I have seen it, I just haven't got around to replying, so I really apologise. But anyway, back to this yarn. This is 100% merino. It's not from Iceland, but it was dyed in Iceland. Yeah, so that's the final Mal prize. So there are 3 prize bundles altogether. And if you haven't already entered, there are some ideas for cable patterns in the Ravelry group, or yeah, go and have a look at the Ravelry group for some inspiration, because there are some beautiful, beautiful entries in there already. So that is the final prize. What else do I have to show you? Right, 1 second. The final shop that we went to was a little independent mill. It's crazy, you're driving along on the main roads in Iceland, and you will just see a sign that says wool with an arrow. So yeah, so we stopped at a couple of those, and this is what I bought in one of them. Gosh, I bought so much yarn. I don't know where I'm going to put all of this. I'm going to have to destash a little bit, I think. So yeah, this is a small independent yarn that makes this unspun, but I got some undyed unspun. So that is the name of the yarn shop. Again, the link will be down below if you fancy going. Oh God, this smells amazing. It smells so woolly. It's gorgeous. How am I going to get this out? So, as I said, this is undyed, unspun, and I am going to make something for myself with this. Something steeked, I think. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plates of that. 1 plate of that. And 2 plates of that. So this is going to be, I wish you could smell this. It smells amazing. This is going to be, I might even do something with a steek. I might cut it. I'm thinking a big cardigan. I don't know. Cardigans are just so easy to wear at any time of year, apart from when it's really crazy hot in the summer, because you can do them up and they're nice and warm, or you can have them open and wear them as a jacket or whatever. So yes, this feels like a lot of yarn as well. I bought so much yarn. Yeah, so this was what I bought. A lot of unspun. So, but the people in there, again, they were absolutely lovely, lovely, lovely people. I spoke to the owner and also to somebody who was working there, Talma, I think her name was. And again, they had a lovely offering of ready-made sweaters, lots of kits, lots of different types of yarn, lots of different dyed yarns. It was just really, really nice. I could have gone to a lot more yarn shops, but I had to show some restraint because I don't have any I don't have any willpower at all when it comes to yarn. If I go into a yarn shop, I'm going to end up coming away with something, even if my bank balance and the size of my suitcase won't thank me for it. So yes, this is all the yarn that I got in Iceland. Definitely will go back one day, and I really do recommend it for a holiday. So yeah, my partner and I, we rented a car and we drove around for a week. Unfortunately, he got probably the same cold that I ended up getting as well, partway through our holiday, so we ended up actually having to stay in our hotel for a day or so. And we were quite worried about the weather as well, because we'd driven quite a long way down the coast towards the eastern side of the island, and we were really worried about getting back again in time for our flight. So we didn't do as much exploring as we wanted to, but it was wonderful, and yeah, definitely going back one day. We didn't manage to see the Northern Lights while we were there, unfortunately, because of the weather, but on our flight coming back home, we saw the Northern Lights. It was amazing. It was so kind. The captain or the cabin crew turned the lights off inside the plane so that we could all see it and enjoy it, and it was just a really, really nice end to a lovely holiday. A couple of weeks ago, it was my 2-year podiversary, and as I said in the last episode, I thought it would be really nice to celebrate and to say a massive thank you for all of your support over the last couple of years by doing a little giveaway. All of the comments, all of the likes, all of everything, all of the participation and support and everything is just wonderful, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you choosing to spend your time with me every couple of weeks. So yeah, huge thank you from my end. Yeah, so I thought I would give a €20 or equivalent gift voucher for the yarn shop, either a physical shop or an online shop of your choice. I haven't done the draw yet. I'll do it while I'm editing this. So I'll put the name of the person who's won down here. So if this person could email me, the email address is down in the show notes. And yeah, we'll sort out your gift voucher. But yeah, thank you again for choosing to spend your time with me, and I do really, really appreciate it. It means the world. So anyway, right, I think that's about it for today. I'm going to get and edit this and get it uploaded as soon as possible, and then do some more knitting maybe this afternoon. So I hope you are having a lovely day wherever you are. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, I hope you're enjoying the hopefully first signs of spring. And if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, enjoying those temperatures cooling down a little bit. So yeah, have a lovely week, happy crafting, and I will see you in 2 weeks' time. Take care, bye bye. bye.